Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about I got an Uber Eats customer canceled and they canceled me back. So recently I had an order on Uber Eats that had absolutely gone every kind of wrong. And oh man, do I have a lot to say about it. From the scam that she tried to pull, the tip baiting, I have to talk about. This actually led to some discoveries that I think Uber is starting to wise up on, so you might want to pay attention. So with that said, we are talking about everything that took place during this order, how it actually is on the Uber platform, and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain is never intended to be legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything that we're going to be going over is very market dependent, and what applies to me in my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's start with my story. I'm just kind of riffing this, but let me just give you the rundown. I've had an order for Aromas del Peru, and I was picking up an 8-item order for Roma M. I know, it was a very interesting irony. The payout was supposed to be $12 for roughly 4 miles of driving. I ended up getting to the restaurant, picking up the order, and ended up to the drop-off location just fine. Now, this drop-off location was like a condominium community, not so much a large set of buildings, but a condominium community where every unit was like a townhouse-sized condo. And this was right on the beach, by the way, so it's not like they were having a hard time financially. Now, when I got to this location, I had the address to the building, but I didn't have the unit number, which I was supposed to drop it off. I got to the proper location. I ended up calling the customer, and she claimed to not speak English. So she wanted to text me, which was fine. But she kept saying it was at Unit 9, 5400 Unit 9. She kept texting me and calling me because I was at Unit 9, I was knocking on the door, and she was claiming that I wasn't there, which is a very common scam to where they'll actually send in the right address, but they'll just ghost you when it matters, claiming that you're not there. The reason why they want you to text everything is that they have a record of you trying to communicate with the driver. And then she calls me back. She's talking over me. She won't explain to me where she is. She just keeps repeating herself. But I'll tell you what, she suddenly spoke pretty good English for how she was yelling at me. I didn't think that you spoke English. What happened there? Anyway, I ended up having to let the timer run, take the picture, and dip because that's what ended up happening. She then calls me later, trying to pretend as if she never received her order. Meanwhile, I delivered it to exactly where she was, and she was saying that I was in the wrong community and I was in the wrong side, but I was on the right side the whole time. She just chose not to get the order so she can get a refund, but we'll get into that later. As soon as the order was over and as soon as the customer called me back, I contacted Uber support and reported the customer for trying to scam the system and also making sure that I won't be paired. That's another thing you could do. You could report the customer on the platform and make sure the two of you aren't going to be paired again based on what took place. Then I wait the couple hours I have to, and then of course I find out that I'm tip baited and also that the customer claimed that I did not deliver the order, which is funny because didn't I already make this report? Why would they send it? Because it's an automatic system and they can't do their jobs. So of course I have to call Uber to get the remaining compensation back. The first support agent I spoke to, I couldn't get a recording of. He actually knew everything there was to know about tip baiting and was explaining it to me pretty thoroughly, which means they know it's a thing and they just choose not to acknowledge it. I asked the first agent to put me through to a supervisor, and this happened.
Hi, yes, thank you so much for your waiting time. I'm here with my supervisor. His name is Paul. He's going to take care. He's going to take care about the issue you're having with delivery. Okay, goodbye, sir.
Okay. At this point, I know I shouldn't even be surprised that they're playing games, but I am just so tired of being hung up on and giving the runaround. Agent 2 put me through to Supervisor 2. Supervisor 2 gave me the runaround again. Basically tried to keep the payment away from me. And then the final one was really the most interesting, where it was the agent and then the supervisor, but the supervisor made a very interesting claim that I don't think I've ever heard was an argument from a supervisor before.
Again, the adjustment that we're doing, that is not the adjustment on the tip. We are only like adding that as a compensation. So we're adding that directly on the Uber wallet. Like that is the reason why there is no changes on the fare that we're receiving, because we don't have the option to adjust the tip.
So you don't
we're gonna do
adjust,
this
so
one.
provide the remaining compensation. That's what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah, I'll be the one we're going to process as a compensation only, okay? Again, we are not reimbursing the tip. That is the one that I'm trying to let you understand also about this, because you might be also like requesting in the future about the reimbursement on the tip that we're not providing, okay? It's a compensation, not a tip
So
reimbursement.
yes, that was
Okay?
what I'm asking for, the compensation. I am sorry if there's a confusion in the lingo involved. I am simply asking for the change, the discrepancy to be fixed. That is all.
All right. So, Norris, again, will be also like going to let our team know about this, since, there is also like a record here that the customer is the one who requested for the tip refund. So that is the reason why. I'll be placing this phone hold now for about 2 to 3 minutes to submit the report and process the compensation, okay? Please stay on the line. Thank you.
You got it. It's interesting how they're trying to change the way things are being phrased simply because they don't want to pay out as much. Like, it's amazing. All they have to do is just remove the concept of tip baiting as a whole, and instead they're changing the words to confuse drivers of what they're doing. Like, what exactly is the difference? Like, is there some sort of legal thing that has to do with? Like, what's going on there? I know they can't take the tip right back out of their wallet, and maybe that's the point, but either way, I just wanted the amount that I was promised. I was promised $12.04. I got $2.60. They provided me the remaining $9.44. This company just gives me such a runaround. So if they try to use those words to try to justify you not getting compensated for the tip bait that took place on your order, don't be confused. It's their way of trying to trick you into getting upset about the whole situation, which obviously is just as nonsense as they are as people. Either way, what do you guys think? Obviously, tip baiting should be removed from the platform, but this is why you develop an exit strategy. This is why you diversify your gig portfolio. I gotta tell you, I'm not very active on Uber and Grubhub and all of the on-demand apps as much anymore, and thank God that's the case, because I'm working on other things that pay me money, and I will get to those as soon as I can in the videos, but in terms of how everything's been going, that is why you develop an exit strategy. So when they pull this crap, you're not as worried. You are a lot more clear-headed, and you can find the real answers of why things are happening on the platform. Anyway, that's all I got. It's a very simple video based on something that happened to me that took more than a short to explain. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.